Hi, I'm Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live number 104. That's 2 years of live broadcasts. Broadcast number 104, examples of the four vocal types. I'm going to give those to you today. Not vocal classifications, but vocal types. Hi, everybody. I'm Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live, and welcome. We're going to be starting our show in about 1 minute. This is a little bit of a preview show. I'm a little bit late on the pre-show show. However, I just want to say hello to those of you who may be waiting in the wings here and say hi to Mike. You are number one on top of the list. How are you doing? I hope that you can hear me and see me all right. And just let me know in the comment section below. So we are going to be talking about something that's caused a lot of interest through the years. And knocked my table over here. So why is it so interesting? Just because it's yeah, thanks, Mike. 2 years of these things. It's really unbelievable. Well, it's top of the hour. Hi, everybody. I'm Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live. This is live session number 104, if you can believe it. That's two years of live broadcasts every Tuesday afternoon, the same time. Tuesday afternoon, Utah time, about 2 p.m. Mountain time. I guess we're going to be going to Mountain Standard Time this weekend, right? Everybody going to drop the daylight savings time and go to standard time. Anyway, so nice to have you with me today. Let me ask you this question. Knowing your vocal type has really made a lot of difference for a lot of people. So I want to ask you, do you know your vocal type? Yes or no? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you know your vocal type? So what are the vocal types? I'm going to give you examples of each of these, but let me just review them really quickly right now. 4 vocal types: pulled chest, high larynx; light chest, no chest; flip-falsetto; and mix. Now those describe what you tend to do as you sing through the passaggio, as you sing through the bridge of your voice. They describe what your voice tends to do. And so I'm going to give you examples of each of those today so that you have that, so that you can gain some insight into your vocal type, what you tend to do as you sing higher through the bridge of the voice, or through the, also known as the passaggio of the voice. So how's everybody doing here? Let me just say hello to, wow, we got lots of folks jumping on. Lisa, hi Lisa, nice to have you here. Yeah, it's just shocking. It's, I guess it just adds up. I mean, but 104 of these sessions. And it looks like you can hear me loud and clear, so thank you. Book of Eli, good evening. Eli, nice to have you here. Benjamin, Edward, hello. Nice to have you with us tonight, or this afternoon, some evening in some places. So, and it just keeps getting better and better. Well, that is nice of you, Eli, Book of Eli, thank you. So you do know your vocal type, it sounds like. Timmy, hi, TJ. Nice to have you here from Delaware. It's got to be beautiful back there right now, right? I mean, I'm looking outside my window here, and I tried turning my camera on out there, and it whites out. I wanted you to see outside my window. I've got beautiful yellow fall leaves, and then there's another tree with red, and there's another tree with green, and so I've got to believe, TJ, that Delaware has got to be so beautiful. I'd love to come back to the Eastern Seaboard sometime in the future, either October. I need to know when the peak season is. I don't really know when it is. Maybe it's already passed. So the Rich, hi, nice to have you here. Marty, good afternoon. So Marty said I was doing bubble lips in the car yesterday at traffic light. Looked like the guy beside me staring at me with an odd look. Yeah, I have found, Marty, maybe you can't do these, but the tongue trill is a little less visible, to the traffic on either side. But you guys all know why the music, why the singers, why singers put windshield wipers on the inside of their car window, right? You know why? Okay. Well, anyway, so um, Milos, hey Milos. Okay, Milos is not at all. Well, maybe we'll figure that out during this session. We'll figure out what your vocal type is. Subia, hi. I've been wondering about you. Subia joins us, everyone, from India, and it's like 1:30 in the morning there, or some amazing late hour. So nice to have you here, Subia. And okay, we also have Lisa, so I can see you, but I have to drive school bus. School gets out. I'm in Central Time. I'll catch you on the replay. Thanks, Lisa. Good job, and thanks for being here for us. Thank you. Okay. Hey, George. Nice to have you here. And Two Chooks. Highest. Nice to have you here, Two Chooks, South Dakota. Awesome. Autumn leaves have not changed yet, but that surprises me, DJ. Is it late this year? That surprised me that Delaware hasn't really kicked in yet. Of course, I am at 4,000, about 400 feet elevation here, so maybe that speeds things along a little bit. The elevation. Greetings from Europe, Milos. Modik, nice to have you here. Thanks for joining us. TJ says her vocal type is a combo of pulled chest to flip falsetto going into the bridge. So that's an interesting comment, and I'd like to kind of discuss the reason why that's the case. But it brings up this point, and someone mentioned this to me this week. The reason why I'm doing this today is that someone kind of took me to task for not giving examples of the vocal types in my video. I didn't even watch the video again. It was one of my early ones, but he said, "Can you believe he didn't give any?" So I gave him links to all of the examples of the vocal types. So I want to do that for you today and make it easy and simple, so people can come here and get this information quickly and have examples of it. But I guess the point is that all of us have probably all four elements of the four vocal types in our voices, but there's probably one that's more predominant than all of the others in our voices. So I'm going to I want to review those. I want to just say hi to let me see, any of the new folks that have joined us here. Okay, Subia says, yeah, I was having exams, so I had to sleep early. Okay. Tuchuk says, my vocal type is scattered. Okay, well, maybe we can de-scatter that a little bit and help you focus in on what it might be. Okay, so let's get right down to it. I want to talk about why is it helpful to know the vocal type. It's helpful to know vocal type because for many of us, and I am included in this, when I first started out, my voice was a mystery to me. I didn't know what was wrong, and I didn't know why it was wrong. I just knew I needed help. And after getting some clarity on what I'm about to share with you today, excuse me, it just demystified everything. And so I hope that knowing your vocal type will help demystify your voice. If you're in that same situation I was in, I just didn't really understand what was going on in my voice. Number two is I think it opens up a lot of possibilities, a lot of potential for us. In fact, it kind of creates an unlimited feeling. I mean, in other words, that you can eliminate limitations so that your potential is unlimited with your voice. I think understanding what your vocal type is helpful in that, because it's easy to start identifying simple issues or problems that can be eliminated. And so those two things are very, very powerful to me. It's just a really comfortable feeling, it's kind of exciting feeling to be able to clear up mystery and clouded thinking and misunderstanding about our voices. My voice today, my vocal type is fifth. The fifth vocal type, scratchy. No, that's not an official vocal type. Okay, so here are the 4 vocal types, and then I'll list them out, and then I'll give examples. Number 1, pulled chest, high larynx. Number 2, light chest, no chest. Number 3, flip falsetto. And number 4, mix. Now, as I mentioned, all of you probably have some combination of all of these that are in your voice. However, there's probably one that's more predominant than the others. So let me begin by talking about pulled chest, high larynx. Before I do, though, I have to double check here and see what TJ says, that the leaves in Delaware are late this year. Okay. South Dakota leaves dropped last month. Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? Probably has to do with water and temperature and elevation and all that. I love trees, though. All right. Pulled chest, high larynx. So remember, this describes what I tend to do when I sing through the bridge of my voice. Now, for me, I'm going to illustrate this at the E above middle C. As a youth and until I was age 43, I could not sing past the E above middle C. So I thought that was the top of my voice. What I learned was it's not the top of my voice. It represents a transition zone or transition area called the passaggio, or the entry, the bridge, we call it. It's the transition from chest into head voice. I thought it was the top, so I had no concept of what I'm going to tell you right now. So it was a real revelation for me. I went from darkness into the light when I began to understand this concept. So as I would sing to the E, and if I tried to sing the F and the F sharp, here's what would happen. So I wouldn't do that. I would just stop at the E. I wouldn't go on because I knew that it would go bad. To either break, or I would yell and go flat. And I was already going flat by that point. What I tended to do was pull the chest voice higher and higher. And because I pull, it would crack in the falsetto. It's a little confusing because you might think, well, that's flip falsetto. No, the cause of the flip falsetto was the pulled up chest and the larynx going up. And whether I broke in the falsetto, or just kept yelling it up, I couldn't do that even. It's still pulled chest, high larynx. Ladies, the same thing for you at the A, B flat, B, and C. Or I think, TJ, if I remember right, your contralto, you would be in that same location, E, F, F sharp. So for the contraltos, E, F, F sharp. For the regular alto, soprano voices, A above middle C. A above middle C, B flat, B, C. The high C, C above middle C. C sharp, you're pretty much all the way through it. That's your bridge. Contralto's bridge with the tenors and baritones bridge. If you're a basso cantata or basso profondo, you bridge the A, you begin bridging the A below middle C. It's all the same. What your voice does or tends to do when you go through that bridge, the passaggio, describes your vocal type. So in my case, I was pulled chest, high larynx. Whether I broke into falsetto or whether I just went flat or whatever, or I yelled it, didn't matter. It was the rising larynx, the high larynx, and the pulled up from the bottom voice. And that usually is represented by the vowel spreading, my face getting red, the muscles of my neck sticking out, the feeling of yelling, straining, reaching, trying to get those notes. You can see it in a lot of us because we don't know, that's how we learned how to try and hit a high note. We'd raise our chin and stick our neck out, just to try and get the note. You can see that in different singers, and you can see right away high larynx or pulling up the chest voice. Pulled chest, high larynx, vocal type. Okay, let's see if we got any comments here. Okay, George says this is like mine, pulled chest, high larynx. Joey, how will I know my vocal type? Joey, if you do what I just described, you're pulled chest, high larynx. If not, there's 3 more that I'll show you. Mr. Shaw, hi. Can I inquire? I want to learn about falsetto, breathing techniques, high notes. Do you give full courses as well? I mean, on Skype for video calling. If yes, how can I make it? Thank you, sir. So, Mr. Shaw, I believe in the I do teach lessons on Skype, and I do have courses available. I do have a course called Sing Higher Than Ever Before, which I highly recommend, and you can. So if you go to my website powertosing.com and just sign up, just put your name on it and send it in, so I get started. Then I'll send you some welcome emails and give you some different tips, and then I'll give you the opportunity to learn about this course, and then you can purchase it there. Anybody can do that who signs up for my newsletter, my weekly newsletter and so forth, which are usually notifications of videos that I'm putting on. So Mike says, can we change out of the pulled chest, high larynx after we do the exercises and change bad habits? Well, that's a good question. Is there a vocal type that is perfect? Yeah, good question. Number one is I would say my vocal type is mix, but where if I tend to error, or if if I'm not perfect, then it's usually my larynx is coming up, or I'm pulling a little bit, or I spread a vowel. So it really is very surprising how if we aren't at tip-top condition, then what we tend to do is we tend to fall back to our tends to. And in my case, if someone, if I had a lesson with Seth Riggs and he did a 5-tone and I wasn't perfect, it's probably not going to be light chest, no chest. It's probably not going to be the Flip-Falsetto. It's probably going to be, oh, your larynx is up. It's a pulled chest, high larynx, vocal type. So, Mike, we can get very, very good, and mix is what we're going for here. But when we slip, or we tend to fall back into error, it's usually our fundamental vocal type that we default in error to. Okay, so I guess the point is that it takes a long time to be perfect, and I don't know if anybody is ever always that. However, it helps to know what we tend to do, because what we tend to do, we can counteract with other things. Let's go on to the next one. Tuchuk says, is there a test you can take? Oh, he says, there's a test you can take. Joey, good. Thank you. That's a good point. So let me just say that in the description below on this video is a PDF that you can download, and it will take you to the test, the vocal type test, which I call the power test. It will take you to examples of each of these vocal types, and it will take you to videos of my description of these in depth. I will do exercises. I demonstrate those exercises for your vocal type, and then there are free exercises you can download. And this PDF is all, these are links on that PDF. Will save you lots of time. Just go to the PDF, download it. I think you may have to wait until this video is over to get that, but it's available there. Thank you for bringing that up. Tuchuks, because it's very helpful to have that PDF, and it's available in the download in the section in the description below. Okay, Adisha Lianage. Hey Chuck, great fan. Thank you. My chest voice is not steady. Could you please show us an exercise to correct it? Yeah, so Adisha, let me just say that the exercises for your vocal type will help steady your voice, not only in chest, in the mix area, that middle area, and in your head voice. Well, not only in chest, but in all the areas of your voice. So the exercises for your vocal type will help balance your voice and get that to be steady. So that's a quick answer, but they'll really make a difference. Okay, so let me just get another couple comments here from and Joey P. from the Philippines. Thank you. TJ says, I think that pulling chest with an attempt to go louder through the bridge originates in part from emulating modern pop singers who seem to be doing just that. And they do. There are a lot of singers who pull chest and who sing with the high larynx while they're pulling chest. And that's one reason why there have been a lot of professional singers, pop singers, rock singers, and even opera singers anymore who have to have surgery. And they have to have surgery on their vocal cords because they've hemorrhaged or because they've developed polyps or nodules. And if they don't go away with vocal rest, then they required surgery. And it's because of vocal abuse, which comes from repeatedly pulling the chest voice higher and raising the larynx. So that's a very good point, TJ. Thank you. 2-6, I'm having trouble getting higher than bass and baritone. It's just not normal for a female. Okay. Joey says, thanks. Okay. Mike says, I understand. We'll check after this video. Great. Where are the singers? Why there are singers who can sing very high and very loud? It's because they've learned how to bridge, or in some cases they're just natural. They naturally can do that. I'm not one of them, but I'll show you, Joy. I'll show you that in a second here. I'm finding I am finding useful the vocal fry for a few minutes prior to my pull chest high larynx exercise. Very helpful. Okay, great. Thanks, Marty. I'm especially interested, George says, on the mixed. Find myself on some songs in our chorus more mixed than pull chest high larynx. I'm a first tenor. Okay, let's get to, well, first of all, so let me answer this. Why are there some singers who can sing very high and very loud? So Joey, as I mentioned before, I couldn't sing above the E above middle C. That was it. End of my vocal life. Now that's 21 years ago, let me see, 22 years ago, it's getting to be a long time ago now, I could only sing that high. I couldn't sing that high. I never could go past the E above middle C. So here's, after learning your vocal type, the exercises that you get for your vocal type will help you get through the passaggio. It will help you get through the bridge of your voice from chest into head voice. You've got to learn how to do that, or you have to be born with a gift. That's the high C. That's crazy. I would never have dreamed I could do that. And not in falsetto. That's not falsetto, that's head voice. So these exercises lead to that kind of ability. You can sing through the bridge into head voice without the larynx coming up, without pulling up the chest voice. Now, let's talk about light chest, no chest. Light chest, no chest is primarily a condition where the vocal cords themselves are coming together rather well, they're coming together so easily. Or what's the good way to put this? They're coming together lightly. So when I say come together, there's two chords here that lie horizontally. They connect in the front, they insert in the front, and then they open and close from the back, okay? And they vibrate together. Now, I like to compare it to like this. They're coming together, they close to the midline, and if they're not closing tight enough, then there's a lot of air that escapes through. So if they're closing too tight, probably your pulled chest high larynx. It's just not enough air getting through, and so everything gets tight and squeezed, and larynx goes up and chest is pulled up. But in this case, they're coming together so lightly that the air just, there's too much air escaping, and so that creates a particular sound. Now, I'm not a very good demonstrator of this. It's very typical of a young female singer. I mean, like, I'm talking about a 10-year-old female, okay? Sometimes they're just shy, and so they don't want to make any noise. Now, when they go home, they're not light chest, no chest. They're loud and screaming and yelling, but when they come to sing, so, but what happens is sometimes singers do that because now they don't feel the bridge. And so they go light. They sing light all the time. That way they don't have to face the bridge. The problem is they also don't have any strength or power in their voice, or very little power. Or if they try to get more strength and power, it pulls the larynx up because the vocal cords aren't coming together. And so it starts to cascade into other problems. Light chest, no chest is also characterized by if I have no chest voice, I mean, maybe that's light chest, but no chest would probably be more like this. And that would be a state of like the vocal cords aren't coming together at, very, very little. You could consider that just a falsetto. So no chest voice would be like the vocal cords aren't coming together at all, barely at all. So there are a lot of it's surprising how many men sing that way as well as women. I see it more often in the female voice, but I'm surprised how often I'll get a vocal test sent to me and they're going, ah, ah. Also, one thing you'll notice if you have light chest, no chest, you run out of air really fast. Why? Because there's a lot of air escaping through the vocal cords. And so you run out of air, and you think you have a breathing problem. You don't have a breathing problem, you have a vocal cord problem. Okay? Now, let's move on to flip falsetto. So that's an example of light chest, no chest. I can't even do it without running out of air. Or ma 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 ma. Or no 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 no. There's not hardly a bridge there at all because my vocal cords aren't coming together enough to have the bridge present itself. It's great. I don't feel anything. I can keep singing higher and higher. But the problem is nobody could hear me past the first row. It's interesting to be, sometimes I'll be talking to a student and they'll say, yes, I'm here to sing and I'd like to take some voice lessons. And so, okay, let me hear what you're doing. Let's just do this for a minute. And they'll be talking along and they'll sing, ah. All of a sudden their voice changes. We do things. I didn't do that when I started. I did this. Ah. That's what I added. Some people take away. Ah, but they don't talk that way, but they sing that way. So it's just light chest, no chest, and we can fix it by just getting the vocal cords to come together firmly. And the exercises help you do that. All right, flip falsetto. Here's an example of flip falsetto. Ah. I don't really pull the chest up, but I go in the falsetto because I know I can't get through there. So flip falsetto is just going in the falsetto. Now earlier TJ said I'm both, flip falsetto and pulled chest. Let me clarify this a little bit. This has been something that I've come to understand as I've taught. There's some people who just let go and go in the falsetto. There are others who really do pull their chest voice up. And they flip in the falsetto. And they say, well, because I flipped in falsetto, I must be flip falsetto. What is the cause of the flip? If I just let go, I maybe have done that all my life, and it's a habit. Well, I just flipped into falsetto. If I were a female, I never sing that high normally. That's starting up. That's going through the ladies' bridge. But if I sing down here, say that's just letting go. And so that's a flip into falsetto. Also, I will, interestingly enough, my mom is staying with us for a few weeks. She's going home tomorrow to the Midwest, back to Missouri, where I am from and where she still lives. She's 86. And she's been here and listening to me teach over and over again. And I have a daughter that's visiting with us, and I did some lessons with her while she's here. My mom came in yesterday and she said, teach me. I want to have a lesson. So here's what she said. Oh, oh. What's her vocal type? That is falsetto. So her vocal type is flip falsetto. In her case, she wasn't even, she was never in the condition of the chords coming together adequately. So she just started out in falsetto. Oh. You'll all be happy to know that within about 10 minutes, she went through the bridge with her cords adducted. It was wonderful. I was impressed. I was impressed. That's flip falsetto. Oh, that's the other part of the flip falsetto. Oh, there's just nothing there but falsetto. Okay, so the flip falsetto could be or it could be Now, there are others besides older female singers, such as my mom. She's never been trained. She's been singing that way all her life because there's no bridge when you do it that way. You don't feel the bridge. So life is great, except you don't have any power. And as you get older, the voice can start to wobble. Why? Because you don't ever use the muscle of the cord when you're doing a falsetto all the time. So it will develop into a wobble as you age. Okay, mix. Mix. What is mix then? Mix is a combination of, it's a blend of, you have to have two things, right? At least mix. If you're going to fix a cake, you have to have flour and water. So you have to have at least two ingredients. And the ingredients we're talking about here is you have chest voice and you have head voice, and they begin to mix together. Okay? And that's what happens in the bridge. So when you learn to bridge, you get through the bridge by allowing some head voice and chest voice to begin to combine together. And that sounds like this. Now, so you could say that this bottom part is chest. But on my approach to the bridge, I start narrowing the vowel, and I start getting a little bit of the head voice coming in. When I hit the bridge, I've got a combination of chest and head voice. And when I get up above the bridge, I'm in head voice. So from chest to head voice and back down again, and right in that bridge, I had a mix going. That's what you learn to do with each of the exercises. For pulled chest, high larynx, they help you learn to bridge. Light chest, no chest, they help you learn to bridge with the vocal cords coming together. The flip falsetto, you learn how to not go into falsetto, but rather stay adducted, the vocal cords staying together, and so you can go through the bridge without that falsetto. So each of the exercises for these four vocal types, pull chest, high larynx, light chest, no chest, flip falsetto, and mix, help you learn to bridge so that you can go through that bridge with the combination of chest and head voice. Because if I go to the bridge and say, breaking the falsetto, I'm not mixing because I don't have any of the bottom left. So I have no chest left. So what am I? I have nothing to mix. If I keep pulling the chest voice higher, I don't have anything to mix. I'm just pulling up the chest. There's no head voice coming in. On the light chest, no chest, there's just, there's not, I don't know how to say this, but there's there's got to be some head voice in there too, but you know, it's so light that it's just not able to project. You can't hear it. So I guess, you know, in technically speaking, it could be a very, very light mix, but it's not going to be adequate enough. What's going to happen is your larynx will start coming up after a while, and then you'll start tiring out, and besides that, no one's going to be able to hear what you're doing anyway. So those are all the issues that we face with these vocal types. Now, the mix exercises are designed to challenge and develop your mix. All right. Joe says, Joe West, so your mom's been saving her voice all this time. What an eye opener for her. You know what? It was so exciting. I called my daughter and said, listen to this. And my mom went through the bridge with that nay, nay, nay. It was so exciting. I, and I thought, wow, maybe that's, what little talent I have, maybe that's where I get it from her. She just didn't know how to do it. That's where we all are, you guys. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not saying you're inadequate. We're all in these different places, largely due to the fact that we just didn't know about this. So what happens? You learn how to do this. You think, I can learn how to get through that bridge. I can learn how to mix through there, and I can get up into a new area of my voice I'd never been before, in a condition that's stronger and more powerful and more like I talk. And so, anyway, those are the reasons why it's so exciting to understand your vocal type. It's not mysterious. There are reasons for it, and there are exercises to help us do it, to get through the bridge appropriately and correctly, and to be able to get into this head voice and then, develop some strength and power up there. Now, that being said, simple may not be easy. And so it takes work. It's like, okay, I know you know how to walk. Forget everything you've known before. I'm going to teach you to walk a different way. So, but they work. They work. These exercises work. Okay, so end of my, I hope this has been helpful. Let me just back up here and see if I can catch a couple comments. Joey said, why are there singers who can sing very high and very loud? I hope this is helpful, Joey, as to why. So Two Chook says, I find it helpful to record myself singing and go from there. It's great. Two Chooks, I'm glad you mentioned this. Everybody, when you practice exercises that you can get here, again, go to the description below. If you don't know your vocal type, get that PDF. It'll take you to the test. It'll take you to the videos. It'll take you to the free exercises. Watch them all. Don't skip anything. And then record yourself singing these, and then listen and see how you're doing compared to the example that I give you. Because that way you're going to be able to self-correct. But you've got to listen careful. Listen to yourself practice. Record your practice. Listen to the practice. See if you can compare it to the way it's done and see what the differences are. Then do it again and record yourself and listen back. Two Chicks says, I find it helpful. No, it's not wrong. No, not at all, Two Chicks. It's great. TJ says, Two Chicks, I record myself singing at every opportunity. It's a good way to assess. Perfect. There you go. No, Two Chicks, you're not alone. I really wanted to take voice lessons from you. Well, thank you, Joy P. I think in my same description down below, there's a link to schedule lessons on Skype. If you find that link there. If it's not there, I think it is. I think it's on all the descriptions. You have to scroll down below. Scroll down and find that schedule lesson. It's also on my website, powertosing.com, and it's under the menu item Work With Me. You can schedule it there. So Joe says, your mom's been saving her voice. Yeah, that was really great. Hearing how you sing mix is a big help. Question on lessons, should you do both full chest, high larynx, and mix? I don't think that's a problem, George. I think they'll help each other. I think you could do full chest, high larynx, and mix. I would say that you get the full chest, high larynx exercises down, get them so that you're doing them correctly. And if you're doing them correctly, you're going to start mixing. And once those things are like second nature and there's not an issue and you know you're getting them and it's working, then by all means, go to the mixed exercises. Auntie Tiavola. Oh, hey, nice to have you here today. Haven't said hi. Thanks for being here, Auntie. Mike says, walk this way. Smith, yeah. So George says, I can make it through the bridge when singing at a performance. I can sing my tenor, but can go beyond this to alto or down to baritone. Let me see. But I'm thinking, George, you're saying, but can't go beyond this to alto or down to baritone. Let me see. I can make it through the bridge. When singing at a performance, I can sing my tenor, but can go beyond this to alto or down to baritone. Okay. After getting past the bridge, TJ says, after getting past the bridge, the head voice is light, but not airy. Is that due to not giving my high range any use? Yeah, TJ, it's sometimes just undeveloped area of the voice, but it's a new feeling too, and so it's just harder to have the stronger sound there. So what I found is bring the volume down in chest so that you match the upper in head, and then grow the whole voice together. That's the fastest way, I think, to begin to make the voice sound unified or similar, is bring the chest voice down in volume and loudness so that it starts to match the upper. And then it's surprising how things start to grow together. Hello, Chuck. Small question. This H3000. Small question. This buzz high up in my nose cavity, I believe Axl Rose uses a lot in rock. I have to be in a pretty high note to use it. What is that? And how take advantage of it? Gosh, H3000, I don't know what that buzz sounds like. I'm not sure what you mean by the buzz. That's a really tough thing to for all of us to say, well, I've got this this feeling, and the best way H3000 can describe it is a buzz, or I've got this sound. It sounds like a buzz, but it doesn't connect to I can't hear it in my head. I don't know exactly what you mean, so I'm sorry I can't answer that question. I probably have to hear it. Angie says, your mixed voice sounds great and solid. Thank you. It's taken a while, probably about 12 years. George says, no, I can go to alto. Oh, no, I can go to alto and baritone. Cool. Well, that's great. Okay, everybody. I hope this has been helpful. In summary, light pull chest, high larynx. Light chest, no chest. Flip falsetto. And then the falsetto. And mix. That's the four vocal types, and again, you can get your vocal, if you don't know your vocal type or you need download the exercises, go to the PDF in the description below the video and just download that. It's got every link on there to the test, to the videos about the vocal types, to the free exercises, and download it. It'll save you lots of time and you'll have it immediately. You can start linking to it. And let me just, I think he means vocal distortion. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm kind of lost on that, George. I think I'm a little bit out of the comprehension there. We'll have to cover that another time. All right, everybody. I hope this has been a benefit to you. I'm Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live number 104. Thank you for joining me today about this discussion. Great comments, great questions, and thank you for being a subscriber. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I haven't checked today, but we're approaching 50,000 subscribers on the channel. So thank you so very much. Okay, thanks everybody. Talk to you later. Remember, you can sing higher with beauty, confidence, and power. I'll see you inside the next video. Bye-bye. We're going to stop streaming right now.